Hi there, welcome to Celestial Event Planners. You must be my 2 o'clock appointment. Please come in and make yourselves comfortable. So my name's Marina. I've been working here for about 5 years now, and I'm really excited to work with you both. But enough about me. Let me find out a little bit more about yourselves. So how did you do me? Oh, that's amazing. And tell me everything about the proposal. Amazing, so romantic. Well, that is so amazing to hear about your story, and I can tell this is going to be such a fun experience planning your wedding already. And the focus today essentially is going to be around getting to know you both a little bit more, and we're going to start thinking about important details for the wedding day. And my goal really is to create a calm, stress-free and happy environment on your wedding day. That way the focus can stay on you both. So let's get straight into it. So I just need to start with just getting your contact details down on the system. So can I first of all take down the bride's name, please? So your first and last name. Perfect. And the groom's first and last name? Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. And then I wanted to ask you, so obviously on your day, you don't want to be stressing and picking up phone calls or anything. Is there kind of like a dedicated contact person that I could have their details for? Yeah? Yeah, that'd be great. That's their name, yeah. And how about their number, just so I can direct any inquiries on the day to them. Perfect, I think that's just really important to have that down, so on the day it's going to be as stress-free as possible. Fantastic. And could I take your email? Do you have like a joint email address? Yeah, perfect. Note that down. Perfect. And how about your address? Where do you live together? Yeah? Okay, fantastic. So I'll take your joint address down there. Okay. Fantastic. And can I take both your phone numbers? And the most important question of all, what's your wedding date? Fantastic. So we've got plenty of time to plan, so that's great you come and reached out to me now, so that's just perfect. And I'd love to actually get to know a bit more about your wedding party if you started thinking about that. Yeah? Great. So do you have a number of bridesmaids? Okay, perfect. And a number of flower girls? Great. A number of mothers? Yeah, perfect. And number of grandmothers? Perfect. And do you have an idea of how many people you're thinking of inviting? Perfect. And then could you tell me the number of groomsmen? Number of ring bearers? Number of fathers? Okay. And number of grandfathers? Perfect. And lastly, number of ushers? Perfect. Is there anything else that I've missed here? Because this is kind of like our regular numbers we keep track of, if there's anything else as well. Oh, okay. So you're going to bring your dog as well. Very sweet. What kind of breed is your dog? Oh, lovely. And name for your dog? Oh, so sweet. Now I want to just get a little bit more information about your ceremony and reception. So can you tell me are you having the ceremony and the reception in the same location, or are they different? Just so I know. Okay, great. That is a very beautiful venue. Perfect. And what time is the ceremony starting? Okay, perfect. And then the reception time? Okay. Great. And you told me your estimated number of guests. But would that be different for actually the ceremony and the reception, or the same? The same. Okay, perfect. That makes things a lot easier. That's perfect. And I think let's start thinking about the wedding style. I think this is a really exciting part. So do you have any kind of themes or colours you're thinking of? And we can flesh this out, don't worry, this doesn't have to be final. Yeah? Great. And what would you say that your wedding aesthetic or style is like? Would you say it's classic, modern, sophisticated, artistic, unconventional, muted, colourful, lush, luxurious, natural, rustic, whimsical, romantic? How would you describe it in your own words? Lovely. Okay, note that down. And in terms of flowers, do you have any favourite sort of flowers? Fantastic. And any least favourite flowers, if any? Okay, sure. Write that down. And then in terms of kind of flowers, and you don't have to be specific exactly what you'd want at your wedding quite yet, because we can just flesh that out. Do you have a strong preference for, you know, real flowers? Or are you okay with artificial, or would you like a mix? What are you thinking in terms of that? Just note that down, that helps me when I'm doing any planning. And of course I'll run everything by you, so don't you worry. And tell me, do you have a Pinterest board? No? Okay, so I'll set one up for us, and then we can kind of bounce back ideas off each other. So I add some stuff, you add some stuff, and then it'll be really good, so we can get some kind of good looks of how we want the wedding to look like, yeah? Okay, so let me just write that down, I need to set that up. Okay, great. And then this is going to be focusing on the bride now. So can you tell me about your sort of dream bridal hair look? Perfect. And have you started looking at any accessories, or do you think, for example, do you want a veil? Do you want a tiara? Is there any things you're thinking about at the moment? Okay. Perfect. And then for your hair, would you prefer to have it done at the salon, or would you prefer someone to come to your house? Perfect. Yeah, it is easier when someone comes to your house, because then you can kind of make sure that you get out the door on time, whereas if the salon, sometimes, you know, you feel a bit rushed there, and then you have to travel back to your house or the venue. So it's good to have both, but if you prefer to have someone at home, that's totally fine, and we can find really expert specialists, hair specialists, to come to your house. So you're in the comfort of your own house. It reduces the nerves as well, I think, for some brides, so that's not a problem at all. Great. And for your bridal party, what kind of hair style are you thinking of? Okay. And will they have any hair accessories or anything like that? Okay, great. So same as before, with the Pinterest board, I can kind of split it out, and we have a section just for hair, so you can submit any inspirational pictures you have, and then we can go from there as well. I think that's really important, but it's good to start thinking about these things. So yeah, I know we have a lot of time, but that's absolutely fine. So that's great. So yeah, we'll kind of think about any headpieces, jewellery, hair extension you might want, but yeah, I think that's a really good place to start. And then in terms of your dress, have you had any look at any dresses? Do you have any particular designers in mind or any types of dresses you like? Absolutely fine. So I can set up some time for us to go and look at dresses together, and of course you can bring any kind of family members you want. So I'll just note that down as well. Perfect. And then going back to more sort of the main event, are there any songs you've been thinking about for when you walk down the aisle? Okay, yeah. Perfect. And we can, you know, look at other songs if you're not entirely sure, that's totally fine. It's good if you've got a few ideas there. So note those down. Perfect. Do that. Then, in terms of sort of stationery, do you have any ideas of theme that you'd like to go with? Yeah. Okay, so we can have a look at those sort of thing. That's great. And then when it comes down to your tables, what were you thinking about for the table names? Were you thinking of numbers, names of like places you've been to or something like that? Have you had a think about that? Okay. So we can look at that together, no worries. It's just good to start getting those creative juices flowing. That's totally fine. And then what kind of transportation would you need for you to get to the venue, so both of you? Yeah. And do you need a hotel booked as well? Yeah. Okay. And how far are you willing to travel from the accommodation to your chosen venue, the ceremony? Yeah. Okay. We can look into that. No worries. That's great. And then in terms of transportation for your guests, are you planning any of that? So for people to get there, or maybe to get back home? Okay, perfect. And will you have a lot of guests coming from abroad perhaps that you need to book an accommodation for? The way you can do this is that we can call a sort of local hotel and we can tell them you anticipate having this many guests coming that would stay at their hotel, and they can kind of block a book of rooms that you can give a special kind of code for to your guests so they can have like a preferential rate, for example. Do you think we need to do that? Yeah? Do you have an idea of the numbers as well? Okay, we'll put that down for now and that's totally fine. We can kind of modify that as we go along. Okay. And have you had a think of any sort of food options? Is there kind of a certain type of food that you like? Yeah. That sounds delicious. I'm very excited about that part. So yeah, I'm a foodie, I've got to admit, so this part I like to plan a lot. So let's start thinking just about, for example, canapes. What kind of things were you thinking about there? Okay. Of course you can flesh this out, it's just to get those initial ideas down on paper. I think that works really well. And what kind of option at dinner? Do you have like any people with dietary requirements that you could imagine at this point? Yeah, that's really important. So let me just note that down, the dietary requirements, and then I can come up with some sort of suggestions. I know you've told me about the canapes you're thinking of, but I can find more suggestions in case we need to kind of accommodate to any more of these dietary requirements, and also mains as well. That's fine. And how about a dessert? What are you thinking for that? So are you thinking like a cake, or like a dessert and then cake? What are you thinking? And don't worry, there's a lot of different options we'll explore. So there's like, you can have like a actual cake made out of cheese blocks if you like that, or just a traditional sort of cake. whatever you want. A lot of people do also now like kind of towers of donuts. There's a lot of different options, but if you have any ideas at this point in time, it would be good to note them down. Yeah, perfect. And what are you thinking about in terms of wedding favours? Would you like to include them? Or perhaps not, it's totally fine, whatever you feel is most appropriate. Yeah? But you still need to think about that. That's fine, we can just write that down. Something for us to explore together. That's great. And in terms of speeches, are you thinking of having any? And don't worry, it doesn't have to be so formal. It's really just a time to express gratitude and share funny stories with friends and family. So you're thinking of anyone doing any speeches in particular? Yeah, you need to think about who the best person is. Yeah, and of course, like I can run through the speeches with them just to make sure it's appropriate. Not that you need to listen to it first, but I can just kind of spend some time coaching them on the speeches if you feel that would be necessary. Yeah? Okay, so I'll write down thinking of speeches, but you need to think of the appropriate person. Yeah, that's totally fine, and I'm happy to coach them, don't worry. So you don't have to listen to it first, but I can make sure it is appropriate. Don't worry. Great, perfect. And would you like you both say any words or anything like that? Perhaps, yeah, that's fine. We can change the detail. Let me just write that down now. And I can help you, of course, coach you on things you'd like to say as well. That's totally fine. And in terms of first dance, are you thinking of doing that? Yeah. Okay. And do you have any sort of songs you're thinking of for that? Great. I think it's important that you go for a song that really represents you both as a couple and that you both feel comfortable dancing. You can make up a routine if you want. You don't have to. Not everyone does that. Some people, they just do it freestyle. Whatever you like to do. Oh, you both like dancing. That's good. It can be quite nerve-wracking for some people to do this, but I think it's sweet as well, and you get really great photos as well. And it's kind of a personal moment, so I think that's really great. It's great, you've got a lot of ideas, but we can, of course, sort of, you know, narrow those down closer to the time. But it's good you've got your songs that you feel represent you. That's great. And then, in terms of kind of the music at your reception, are you thinking that you'd like to let your guests make requests? Yeah? Okay, perfect. And are there any eras of music that you'd like played in particular? Yeah? Okay, that sounds really cool. And which types of music are sort of your favourite? Okay. Perfect. And I don't know if you've already done this, and you can do this at a later date, but it'd be really good if you can make like a playlist of your favourite songs, and that way we can send it to the DJ a bit in advance, so they can have kind of a feel of what kind of music you like. So that'd be really good, to kind of, so we can request that in advance so that the DJ gets a feel of the vibe at the venue as well. And on that note, are there any songs you do not want played at all? Okay. Perfect. That's great. And then, are you thinking of having a bouquet toss? Great. And are there any sort of songs that you'd like to play whilst you do it? Okay. Great, that's perfect. And just in terms of that, I know a lot of people can get very sentimental with their bouquets. So what I'd say is you can have kind of like not your exact wedding bouquet that you'll have on the day, but a separate one that you can toss. That would be my recommendation. You don't have to, you can do your own one, but I would just say that just so that you can keep your own one as a memory and you can preserve it. But it's totally up to you, but that's just to let you know that you don't have to do your actual bouquet. You can have like a sort of dummy one or like a separate one, totally. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, fantastic. We thought about a lot of things today and we still have a lot of time, so don't worry. Don't be stressed. I'm here to help you be as relaxed as possible throughout the planning process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look over everything we've spoken about today, and I'm going to start that Pinterest board I started talking to you about. So I'll have different sections. I'll have a section sort of on the stationery one, decorations, bridal hair and things like that, and then wedding dresses. And then I'll send this back to you to kind of, you tell me what you're thinking, what I'm thinking is correct or not, or kind of when it's slightly different. And of course you can add your own ideas there as well. And also we can arrange some time to go wedding dress shopping if you'd like. That's absolutely fine. And when you kind of got an idea of who you'd like to do the speech, I can kind of do some coaching sessions, we can arrange that as well. But I think let's start off with the Pinterest board and then let's schedule another appointments to discuss this further. And you can of course call me anytime. I work here full time Monday to Friday, so you can call me anytime you want, no problems at all. Yeah, how does that sound? Great. So what I suggest is that we pencil in some time, so about 2 weeks from now. How does that sound? Yeah? Okay. So what day would work best for you? Fridays? Yep, absolutely. So in 2 weeks Friday, I'm just checking my calendar now. I've got an appointment at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Do any of those times suit you? Okay, great. So I've just booked that in now, and you'll get an email confirming our next appointment. And in the meantime, you'll get an email kind of with the Pinterest boards that we can kind of look at together, and you can have a bit of thought and add anything you want to it. But I'm really looking forward to working with you both. Thank you so much for coming in today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Okay, thank you. Take care. Bye bye.